All right. Before we get to the presentation, I just want to clarify that any laughter during the presentation, it's not about this matter itself. We're just a group that gets along very well, I guess. And especially in these scenarios where I guess we're talking to a blank screen here, sometimes we may laugh a little bit. It's not about the matter. It's just about, I don't even know what it's about.
Hey Scott, hello.
This is our SDG project. We are Zero Hunger. My name is Arthur Murphy.
I'm Haley.
I'm Madeline.
And what's on our agenda today, we have the Introduction SDG Overview, Case Study, Measuring Progress, Recommendations, Next Steps, and our conclusion. And our company we decided to research for the semester is PepsiCo. And our overarching question we have is, how well is PepsiCo's Food for Good initiative addressing structural barriers to food security in South Africa? And PepsiCo's Food for Good program is making strong progress to achieve the Zero Hunger initiatives, but there is a lot more work that needs to be done to end world hunger, especially in South African communities by 2030. And an overview of our sustainability development goals, we have number 2, which is Zero Hunger, creating a world free of hunger by 2030. And why is this critical now? Hunger is a global problem that is continuing to grow. 2.3 billion people were moderately or severely food insecure, including 545 million in low-income countries, which is a 17% increase since 2019. And more than 1 billion people in Africa cannot afford a healthy diet, which is a sharp rise from 864 million people in 2019. And then for our timeline and investments, 582 million people will still be chronically undernourished in 2030 if these trends continue. And about half of these people will be in Africa. And to end hunger by 2030, it would require an additional investment between $39 to $93 billion per year.
All right, so I'll be overviewing Pepsi's Food for Good efforts in South Africa. They're made a pretty meaningful impact in the program when they started it, since they started it back in 2009 through partnerships with the Department of Basic Education and the National School Nutrition Program. They help deliver nutritious breakfasts to roughly 37,000 students across 35 schools in 7 provinces every school day. They also stepped up significantly during COVID when students weren't able to go into school and often had trouble getting meals, especially breakfast, where they distributed over 10 million meals at the time. And overall, since the program began, they've supported the delivery of more than 50 million meals to school children, which is really good considering the scale that they're doing it. A couple things that I would say is sort of missing or misaligned is it's very difficult to find transparent data on this. You often find their goals, you often find some very basic statistics, but it's pretty much impossible to find very in-depth analytics on this. They also have a limited reach over this. While they are focusing on the most impoverished communities and schools, there are often lots of children who may not go to those schools who still go hungry during breakfast. And they also have a heavy reliance on outside distribution sources. While that's great that they have a good partnership with them, if something goes wrong in the government or something shuts down, then this will be halted, and that would be extremely unfortunate. Roughly 20 to 25% of students in South Africa skip breakfast daily, which leads to poor concentration, lower energy levels, along with weaker academic performance and behavioral changes. And this just isn't something that teachers, parents, and students want, but it's just something that happens. And the average breakfast in low-income South Africa often is just highly processed porridge or white bread with sugar, which provides very little protein or fiber and gives them a very heavy reliance on added sugar, along with many children just not being able to eat anything at all for breakfast. And especially in the young developmental age that they are at the moment, this just isn't ideal for these kids. The average meals that Food for Good provides, though, is Bokomo Wheat Bix, which is a whole grain, high fiber cereal, along with White Star instant maize porridge, which provides vitamin A, iron, along with vitamin B's and zinc. And if I do have to say so myself, some of the porridge looks pretty good. Some of the Food for Good meals that they provide nutritionally provides balanced complex carbohydrates along with 5 to 8 grams of protein per serving, which is much higher than the average low-income breakfast. It also has low sugar, high fiber, and is high in essential micronutrients, all which is very needed for a diet for someone at these ages. It's also much more consistent and nutritionally reliable than home meals.
Our strategic pivot is to focus on growing the program to offer optimal support with long-term funding. Our 3 recommendations for accomplishing this pivot are to publish relevant data, broaden the food selection, and create a sustainable funding program. We recommend that PepsiCo publicly releases data detailing the nutritional outcomes, school attendance rates, and long-term impacts of the program. Sharing this information would provide credible evidence to support the company's claims of creating positive change. It would also strengthen investor confidence by providing measurable results. Being transparent and allowing independent researchers to analyze and build on the findings would ultimately enhance their public reputation. If PepsiCo already collects this data, making it accessible would also help the company identify areas of improvement to better understand the effectiveness of the program and how it's operating. This tactic will positively impact sales and reputation. Secondly, we recommend that PepsiCo expand the program to better accommodate dietary needs. Currently, the program only offers porridge with dried fruits and assorted flavors, but broadening the meal selections would increase the nutritional value and allow students to have variety. These meals are served only at 10 a.m., leaving schools to provide lunch independently, which creates a gap in the daily nutritional support of these students. PepsiCo could address this by offering students take-home dinner and weekend meals. In the United States, an organization called Feeding America has a backpack program which provides support by sending students home with groceries and ready-to-eat items like cereal, milk, granola bars, canned fruits, canned vegetables, and many other non-perishable items. Sometimes fresh fruits as well, depending on the location. This would be the most beneficial for students during weekends and school breaks. Their program would be used as a model. The backpack program could be used as a model to significantly strengthen the impact of PepsiCo's initiative. This tactic will address structural barriers of poverty and prevent families from moving out of the food insecurity. Lastly, we recommend a strategy for PepsiCo to have sustainable funding. They should increase the price of top-selling items like Cheetos, Doritos, and select sodas by only 15 cents. This would create a permanent funding stream for the Food for Good program while also discouraging consumption of high sugar, high fat, and high sodium products. Sodas like Mountain Dew, Wild Cherry Pepsi, and regular Pepsi are listed to have the worst impact on our health, so choosing those specific sodas would be ideal. And increasing those 3 specific products would create significant funding while still leaving plenty of other sodas at regular price for consumers who aren't able to make that 15 cents increase. In 2023, the Cheetos brand alone generated approximately $2.9 billion in sales, and Doritos generated $3.2 billion. A small increase in price would not significantly impact the number of sales. And similarly to only choosing those 3 sodas to tax, they could choose certain flavors like the Puffs, the Nacho Cheese Doritos, rather than taxing the entire brand of Cheetos or Doritos. This would help keep their sales consistent and allow consumers the choice to purchase the option that best fits in their budget. This tactic would give Food for Good a permanent stream of funding and allow maximum results to achieve this goal. Food for Good and other similar programs will not have a one-size-fits-all solution, but these recommendations will push the program to its goal of ending hunger by 2030.
So, in conclusion, the dropout rates reduced significantly from this program, from 9.4% to 6.4% in just 2 years.
To recap the initiatives, data transparency would allow PepsiCo to understand the progress that their program has made and allow them to pinpoint areas that need more work. If we widen the food options, it would allow PepsiCo to better create a nutritious society. It would allow the kids to be fed on summer breaks and school breaks and dinner time. And if we raise public funding, it would allow permanent funding for the program.
So what can other companies learn from this? First, it's not just about giving money. The most successful initiatives leverage core business capabilities like sourcing, nutrition, expertise, or distribution networks, and even the food that they produce. Second, partnerships matter. When businesses work with schools, government programs, and local NGOs, they can reach far more children than they could alone. But one thing that everyone needs to learn is that this issue is bigger than them, and partnering with existing options can prove to be extremely helpful for this cause, like we've seen Pepsi do.
And how businesses can help. They can utilize existing supply chains. They can also support local farmers, which promotes food system stability. And they can measure and report outcomes because that'll really help them to see what they need to improve on. And that's all. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.